From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Monday, November 9th, and right now on Good Morning Indiana. A rise in coronavirus cases has school leaders across the state scrambling to adjust. We're working for you with how some of the area's largest districts are dealing with the increase in cases.
Prep cooks, dishwashers, line cooks, general cleanliness as far as doing some detail cleaning, things like that.
The pandemic has people looking for a way to pay their bills this morning. How a local app is connecting employers to hospitality workers.
We came up with this idea of a portable wine flight.
Plus, I'll show you how a local agritourism business is adapting to serve customers during the pandemic.
And it is 6:01 here on your Monday, the start of a brand new work week. Thanks for joining our team on Good Morning Indiana. Raphael, if people need a little boost in their pep in their step, you could say, to start their Monday, taking a walk outside may be a good idea.
It's going to be a gorgeous day here in central Indiana. In fact, I'm going to start a new Twitter trend, hashtag We Love Todd and We Love Todd's Forecast. How about that?
Hey, I like that. I like that, Raphael. But yeah, today's one of those days where you walk out the door, you have in your head that it's in almost the middle of November now, and you walk out and you're like, hey, this isn't all that bad. And it's not. Temperatures outside right now are sitting in the upper 50s. Our normal high this time of year is 56 degrees, and we're above that at this 6 o'clock hour in Bloomington at 63 degrees. 59 in Muncie, 57 in Indy. Kokomo, you're at 54 degrees. There's a little bit of cloud cover that was out there during the overnight hours, but you see that's already now starting to fall apart. And we'll have plenty of sunshine in the forecast here throughout the day today. And we'll have potentially another record high temperature, maybe getting there for the second day in a row, and maybe tomorrow even the third day in a row, because this cold front off to our west that you see with the rain and the snow, that is a very slow moving front. So it's just slowly going to make its way here towards central Indiana as we go into the coming days. So this morning we'll quickly get out of the 50s into the 60s, and by the noon hour already into the 70s. Our high today I think gets up to about 78, 79 degrees. Once again, that probably occurs right around the 3 o'clock hour. So bright and beautiful and mild. We'll talk more about the changes that occur with that cold front passing through tomorrow coming up in just a few minutes. Lauren.
Todd, thank you. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out the door this Monday morning. Here on the southwest side, you can see traffic at I-465 and Man Road. No major issues here to slow you down. You can see traffic is traveling up to speed both eastbound and westbound. We'll keep a close eye on your roads throughout the morning and let you know if there are any trouble spots to avoid. Raphael?
So, Lauren, a huge spike in the number of COVID cases in our state. On Sunday, state health officials confirmed nearly 4,700 new cases of the virus. Since November the 1st, more than 31,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19. Health officials also confirm 36 more Hoosiers have died with the virus. Since the beginning of the month, 290 Hoosiers have died with coronavirus. That's more than the total number of coronavirus deaths reported in the month of July.
The increase in coronavirus cases, Raphael, forcing several school districts to return to remote learning. WRTV's own Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with changes to the school schedules. Kelsey, what do parents need to know?
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So a lot of students across the state will see changes starting today, once again, in how they're going to school because of the spike in COVID-19 cases. So students in Greenwood, they've been attending class in person this year, but starting today, the high school and middle school will move to a hybrid schedule. District leaders making the change in response to those growing COVID-19 numbers. And Johnson County currently has a positivity rate of almost 9% and is classified as orange on the state dashboard. That's when health leaders recommend moving to that hybrid model. But now, despite that information, another district in Greenwood will not move to the hybrid model. Center Grove schools will continue the year completely in person. They sent an email to parents saying district metrics don't support a change right now, as only 2% of their students are currently out for COVID-related absences. They aren't the only ones changing either, with students at New Palestine High School switching to full virtual learning for the next 2 weeks. And Bartholomew County schools will also move to an e-learning model starting today and lasting lasting through November 24th. Now, this is a change a number of schools across our area could see soon. And here in Fishers and Hamilton County, we know a lot of these schools were the last ones to go back in person. No word yet on what they plan to do, but we do know that the Fishers Board of Health is having a meeting tomorrow night to discuss those plans. We'll have more on that coming up in the next half hour. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. State health officials are expected to release the latest school dashboard at noon today. Last week, there were nearly 4,400 student cases and nearly 2,000 staff and teacher cases reported.
Meanwhile, President-elect Joe Biden's transition team is set to talk about tackling this issue of this pandemic that's hitting the world and really our country as well. Biden's coronavirus task force is expected to be unveiled later today. His COVID-19 plan calls for doubling the number of testing sites, investing in at-home tests, and encouraging governors to mandate masks. Now, Vice President Mike Pence is also set to take a look at the coronavirus pandemic. He'll lead a coronavirus task force meeting at the White House at 3 this afternoon.
At 6:06, fire investigators say that this large house fire up on the north side over the weekend was set on purpose. The fire happened at a home on 91st Street around 4 a.m. Saturday. The couple inside escaped their burning home after being woken up by their dogs. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Officials say that the fire started on the rear deck and it was fueled by a large amount of split wood underneath. It's not clear what exactly sparked the fire, but investigators believe it was arson in this case. If you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS. And 2 people have died after a crash. This one's out in Henry County. This happened around 7 Sunday evening in New Lisbon at the Dublin Pike near 725 East. State troopers say that a car drifted into oncoming traffic and hit 2 motorcycles. Henry County coroner says 60-year-old Willie Jean Rose Jr. and 63-year-old Wanda Rose of Newcastle died in the crash. They were the driver and passenger of one of the motorcycles. 2 people on the second motorcycle were taken to a hospital. The crash is still under investigation at this time.
The time now is 6:07. New developments in the Drejjon Reed case. WRTV Investigates has learned that IMPD officers have been alerted that the grand jury reviewing Reed's shooting death may release its findings as early as today. Reed, as you may recall, was shot and killed following a police chase that turned into a foot chase back on May the 6th. Metro Police say that Reed shot at police, while Reed's family attorneys say that that did not happen. State police and a special prosecutor led this investigation. Again, WRTV Investigates has learned that officers are aware of a pending decision from that grand jury that may happen today. Lauren?
Raphael, at 6:07, a young man's life remembered by the community that he called home after being killed by a stray bullet in New York City. People gathered Sunday night on the city's east side to remember 20-year-old Ethan Williams. Community members holding a dinner and fundraiser for local charities important to the IU Bloomington student. They used the meal at Beholder to raise money for the charities that Ethan cared about and to eat Williams' favorite food, hamburgers.
His last tweet was he wanted to do a burger pop-up. And so kind of live in his memory, do some toast, think about some memories, share some stories. If we need to cry, we'll do some crying. So.
A large part of the money raised will go towards a library named for Ethan and Luanda at the Imana Kids Hope Village. Ethan's parents say that his parents and friends say that he was passionate about finding solutions to poverty and violence here in Indianapolis. At 6:08, agritourism businesses in the Hoosier State have been hit really hard by the coronavirus pandemic. So coming up, all new at 6 o'clock, I'll show you how one local business is shifting their strategy to survive this pandemic. Todd.
And Lauren, the country is split between warmth on the eastern half of the country and snow and much colder air off to the west. You can see exactly where the cold front lies, stretching from the Canadian border all the way down to the Mexican border. 16 in Billings right now, while we potentially could have a record high temperature later on this afternoon. We'll talk all about it coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast when Good Morning Indiana continues in just a couple minutes.
We are now 8 months into this pandemic, and our Rebound Indiana initiative here at WRTV is looking at how consumer habits, your habits, have shifted.
Yeah, Raphael, and that's forcing our local small businesses to pivot so they can meet those needs. Today with Indiana Grown, we're looking at how small agritourism destinations are adapting in order to survive.
We came up with this idea of a portable wine flight.
Sarah Shoddy takes us through a pandemic-friendly tasting at Mallow Run Winery in Bargersville.
Mostly Sangiovese with a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon.
The family-owned winery off Whiteland Road prides itself on giving guests an experience.
And then this last one is Traminette, which is the Indiana signature grape.
And they always provide complimentary tastings.
The customer can check off which four. We prepare the flight for them. And then the only rule is that it has to be enjoyed while seated at a table, but they can stay in here or go out on our deck.
It's fall at this Johnson County gym, but springtime looked much different.
So we fell under the category of a bar or nightclub because we don't have an established restaurant here.
Despite the acres of space, Mallow Run couldn't operate as it has for 15 years.
And just like any other small business, it was really scary.
So the family and workers put their heads together.
Okay, if this is the reality right now, how are we going to get through?
And decided to offer a drive-through case sale. And so on that first weekend of the shutdown, this driveway was packed with cars wrapping all the way around down to Whiteland Road with people supporting this local business.
It blew us away. It was kind of the hope that we needed to get through what would end up being the next several months of being closed.
The ability to get creative, overcome barriers, and get products to consumers. That's the message Indiana Grown worked to get to its members during this global pandemic.
So Indiana Grown is a program of the Indiana State Department of Agriculture, and our whole goal is to market and promote and elevate all forms of local ag. So that is hog farmers, traditional row crops, value-added products like barbecue sauce, and even wine, because wine is agriculture as well.
Indiana Grown has helped members track these new consumer habits like online sales and social media advertising. And businesses like Mallow Run used what they had, a loyal customer base to push through the mandated shutdown.
A lot of our members have new business that they never would have had before, and hopefully we'll retain that business in the future.
A late frost delivered that 1-2 punch in this pandemic to growers like Mallow Run. But just as Mother Nature heals herself, the winery hopes to rebound for future events.
As long as conditions are okay, the vineyard will come alive again in seasons to come. We just have to be patient. We're on nature's time, not our time.
And for more information on how Mallow Run is adapting to the pandemic, plus a look at Indiana Grown's local wine trail through the state, you can just go to WRTV.com/rebound. And we continue our coverage tomorrow with how a small farm shifted their entire business model in the early months of the pandemic. That's tomorrow on Good Morning Indiana at 6 a.m. All right, Tad, let's talk about the forecast. A great day maybe to head out to Mallow Run or anything where you want to sit outside, because these are our bonus days.
Yeah, head to a winery outside, find a brewery with some outdoor seating, or just any restaurant with outdoor seating, and maybe get a drink, some lunch, or even dinner later on tonight, because even tonight, once the sun sets, it's not going to be all that bad. Temperatures are going to remain fairly mild. Speaking of mild, that's what it is this morning. We're hovering right around 60 degrees. This afternoon, we get into the potential for a record high temperature across the area. The record high is 76, set back in 1999. That's very much in jeopardy. This evening, as I mentioned, it's very comfortable with those partly cloudy skies. The skies should start to brighten here shortly as you look from IMS back towards downtown Indianapolis. Beautiful city skyline there, and temperatures right now are sitting in the 50s and 60s. We're right at 60 degrees in Martinsville, 57 right now in Bloomington, as well as Indianapolis, 57 in Tipton. A little cooler off to the east there. Temperatures in the upper 40s in Connorsville, as well as the Richmond area. Well, look at all this warmth that we have out there right now. We're in the 50s. Chicago at 66 degrees, and then find the cold front. Not easy, or not hard, rather, to find and spot this cold front. It's 50 in Sioux Falls, 66 right now in Lincoln, and 23 in Bismarck. We're not going in to the 20s, but our temperatures will return to more seasonable averages as we go forward in this forecast, where low temperatures will be in the 30s and high temperatures will be in the 50s. So enjoy today. Quickly warm once the sun comes up. We're to 73 degrees already by the noon hour. 34. And then as we'll go into the afternoon, we'll see those temperatures moderate even more. Here is the cold front with the dividing line between the warmth and the cold temperatures. Obviously rain in the warmth, snow off to the west. That snow, though, will not make it in our area, so that is good news as well. Highs today will be in the upper 70s in Lafayette as well as Frankfort, or 79 in Anderson. Highs generally right around 78, 79 in Indy as well. Martinsville at 80 degrees, and then high temperatures in southern locations, again, right around 80 degrees. Take advantage. These days where we're in the 70s and potentially even 80s, getting fewer and fewer and far between as we push towards the end of the year. Here are those evening temperatures. Once the sun sets, it does cool off, so you may want a light jacket, but otherwise you're in pretty good shape. Tomorrow's a dry day for the most part. There could be a stray shower as we get towards the dinner hour, but the bulk of the rainfall holds on off until after sunset, and that's when the cold front is going to come through. So even though you may pull up your phone and it's showing rain tomorrow, there's not a lot in the way of rainfall. And then there comes that cold front, but look at the timestamp here. It doesn't come through until the overnight hours. Your 7-day planning forecast shows the cooler weather starting to filter back into the area. But by cooler, we're talking about seasonable temperatures with highs that'll be in the mid-50s all across the area.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads. Here's a live look at I-465 and East 56th Street up on the northeast side. Traffic on the interstate is traveling up to speed, but just want to make you aware of a crash I'm monitoring right now on 56th Street. It's just a little bit west of the interstate here at 465. The crash is at 56th Street and North Arlington Avenue. It's reported as a two-vehicle crash involving a head-on collision and at least one person there injured. That's something we'll keep our eyes on. But other than that, traffic around the metro area is traveling up to speed. Raphael?
Lauren, thank you so much. This morning, the nation's 50th Safe Haven Baby Box is in Delaware County in Muncie. The box located at the Muncie Fire Station, number 1 on East Jackson Street. Safe Haven officials say Prevent Child Abuse Council of Delaware County helped to cover the cost of installing that box. Indiana's safe haven laws allow anyone to surrender a healthy newborn without facing criminal prosecution. We posted a map of all of Indiana's safe haven boxes in this story on the WRTV app.
And your morning routine, Raphael, could make or break your day. Researchers say that missing something as simple as your morning cup of coffee can cut your productivity. The study found that morning routines established a sense of achievement. Even if it's a workout or a specific meal, researchers found that those who had their routines disrupted were more stressed and less productive than those who did not.
I answered and it was one of the kids crying, and I could not figure out who it was.
A woman gets a terrifying phone call from who she thinks is her daughter. Straight ahead, we're looking at what you should do if you get one of these scamming calls so you don't waste your money.
And Good Morning America is celebrating the life and legacy of Alex Trebek. Coming up, remembering the man who changed the world one question at a time. Good morning to you in Anderson, Mooresville, Columbus. It is 6:20 here on your Monday, and you're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The time right now is 6:22. Raphael, let's talk about what is trending at 6 on this Monday.
What do you have?
All right, well, here is something. They're not just hairdos, they're works of art. This is the Salon Bella in Flora in Palm Harbor, Florida. Salon's owner there traveled the world competing in haircutting and styling competitions. Yes, and as a way to boost her staff's morale this year, Flora decided to hold her own competition for the salon. The theme was fantasy. All of the styles here were all very unique, as you can see, and the stylists say it was just the boost of fun that they needed. I have a hair appointment tomorrow, Raphael, so I should look at some of these looks. Yes, I think they would love that if I came on TV like that.
I'm not sure. And I think Todd and I would have a difficulty with some of these long. Well, we'll see. Maybe we need some extensions.
I don't know.
Yeah, let's not.
Ooh, a real snake.
I mean, we'll see. Hey, do you? We love you however you look, Lauren. So you can come in however you want tomorrow. Do you, okay?
Thank you.
So, of course, on this Monday, we head west to Park County. This is Kara Eddies. Took this picture while visiting Turkey Run State Park. Check that out. I mean, I could spend hours right there, just marveling at the sights, especially with Todd's forecast today. That would be a perfect place to visit the Turkey State Run Park and all our parks really, Todd, throughout the area.
Yeah, you know, you can hit Turkey Run. You can just go down the road, hit Shade State Park there over in Park County, Brown County, McCormick's Creek. Mound State Park, so many good ones here in central Indiana. Spring Mill, as you work your way down to Lawrence County. I went down there earlier this year because the temperatures are going to cooperate with anything you want to do outside here throughout the day today. We're in the 50s right now, 57 in Indianapolis, 52 in Logansport, and Lafayette's at 58. And keep in mind, our normal high temperature this time of year, where we should be getting up to, is 56. So many locations already above that, and we're not really going to cool much more throughout the course of the morning. 100 acres, that's another picture right behind your screen there that I took last year. That's a good place to be. The trail all the way around the lake is now open. Mostly sunny skies. The record high potential here this afternoon. The record high is 76. You see my forecast high there, 78 degrees. If you are heading out and about, though, keep in mind sunset getting early and earlier now, Lauren, at 5:34 later on this evening.
All right, Todd, thank you. So police across the country are warning about a phone scam where they claim your son or daughter has been kidnapped. Pretty startling, right? But working for you, our John Matarese has an important warning for you so you don't waste your money.
As if we didn't have enough to worry about during this pandemic, police are warning about a terrifying phone scam, which one mom told me was the most frightening call she's ever received. Natalie Bruiser was heading home from work when her cell phone rang.
I answered, and it was one of the kids crying, and I could not figure out who it was.
It sounded like her 20-something daughter, Nicole.
They were apologizing, and they were just crying super hard. And so I was hysterical.
Who said she had been kidnapped.
And a black Suburban had pulled up, and people got out with guns, and Nicole started screaming.
A man then got on and said if she wanted to see her daughter again, she needed to get money and stop at this gas station. The man said police were on their tail and that she needed to act quickly or they would harm her daughter.
I was crying heavily, and I'd say, Nicole, just please calm down. I need to hear your voice. I need to really hear and make sure you're okay.
But it was all a scam. There was no black SUV at this gas station. There were no police cars in pursuit. And as for Natalie's daughter, she was home resting.
I'm freaking out at this point. I don't know if they have her hostage or not, you know. So the Springboro police actually went there and banged on her door, and she was sleeping. And so here she was safe at home.
It's called the virtual kidnapping scam. Police say the caller is not local and doesn't even know your son or daughter's name. Be suspicious of any strange phone call that appears to be from your child.
It could happen to anybody, and it was so real.
If you get a call like this, call police and call home, no matter what they tell you. As always, don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Monday morning, this is your 6:30 news feed. 2 people have died after a crash in Henry County. It happened around 7 Sunday evening in New Lisbon at Dublin Pike, that's near 725 East. State troopers say a car drifted into oncoming traffic and hit 2 motorcycles. The Henry County coroner says 60-year-old Willie Jean Rose Jr. and 63-year-old Wanda Rose of Newcastle died in that crash. They were the driver and passenger on one of the motorcycles.
The Colts jumped out to lead, but a long fumble return changed the course of that game. Chuck Clark of the Ravens picked up the fumble by Jonathan Taylor. He took it back 65 yards for a touchdown, even hurdling Phillip Rivers as the Colts quarterback tumbled to the turf there. The Ravens went on to beat the Colts at Lucas Oil Stadium 24-10. The Colts are now 5-3 and in second place in the AFC South. So it may not have been a winning weekend for the Colts, but we had a winning weekend in the weather department, Raphael.
Yeah, enjoy and embrace November the 9th, because in mid-January you'll say, wow, I love Todd's forecast that day back in November.
Those were the days.
You know, and it's 3 days in a row here, Raphael. And even if you went back to Saturday and even into Friday of last week, we were nice and mild as well. We were in the 60s. We just weren't breaking records. But a very, very warm stretch and dry stretch of weather to start the month of November. The sky's just now starting to brighten up a little bit. And this is going to be another beautiful sunrise that I will continue to show you, not only through Good Morning Indiana, Indiana, but Good Morning America as well with our news cut-ins. Temperatures right now are sitting in the 50s this morning, so you may need a light jacket this morning as you walk out the door, but overall we're in pretty good shape. A little bit of cloud cover still here in northern locations. The rest of central Indiana is nice and dry, and as far as the cold front goes, it's still well off to our west. You see the rain, you see the snow. This is going to be heading in our direction, but it is a really slow mover, which is good news for us. In fact, that rain doesn't even arrive until probably after sunset tomorrow. So enjoy today. We'll hold pretty steady temperature-wise here for the next hour or so, and then we quickly warm throughout the day. We should already be in the low 70s by the time we get to the noon hour with high temperatures today. That'll be topping off right around 78 degrees. The record high for today is 76. So Lauren, very much in jeopardy here later on this afternoon.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads. Right now, interstate's looking pretty good. This is I-465 and East 56th Street up on the northeast side where traffic is traveling up to speed now. Just a heads up, if you're traveling on 56th Street, just a little west here of the interstate, we do have a crash. This one's at 56th Street in North Arlington Avenue. 2 vehicles involved in that crash. It was a head-on collision. We have at least 1 injury reported there. So that's something we're keeping our eyes on this morning, but that's the only crash I'm monitoring at this hour. So it's good news if you're heading out the door this morning. So Indiana has recorded more than 4,000 new cases of COVID-19 for 4 consecutive days now. On Sunday, the state health department reported 4,689 new cases of the virus. That follows a record high of more than 5,000 reported cases on Saturday. The health department also reported 36 additional Hoosier deaths with COVID-19. So far, 4,383 people in the state have died with COVID-19 during this pandemic, and that includes 290 deaths in the month of November alone.
Later today, President-elect Joe Biden's COVID-19 task force is set to meet for the first time. A spokesperson for the Biden campaign says the task force will be led by former Surgeon General Vivek Murthy, former FDA leader Dr. David Kessler, and Dr. Marcella Nunez-Smith, an associate professor at Yale University's medical school. The president-elect said during his victory speech on Saturday that this was his top priority.
Our work begins with getting COVID under control. We cannot repair the economy, restore our vitality, or relish life's most precious moments, hugging our grandchildren, our children, our birthdays, weddings, graduations, all the moments that matter most to us until we get it under control.
The plan on Mr. Biden's campaign website includes setting specific guidance to slow the spread of the virus. It would also boost testing nationwide, and the president-elect has also pledged to hire 100,000 healthcare workers to help with contact tracing as well as other services.
Well, so will the COVID crisis mean a return to virtual learning for students? Next, we'll have a live report on a big decision coming for a big central Indiana school district. Raphael.
And it's all hands on deck, Lauren, at Indiana's healthcare facilities. Next, the group of professionals being called out of retirement to help the state battle back against the spike of COVID cases. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on this Monday, November the 9th. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is a return to remote learning for thousands of young people. A spike in COVID cases statewide forcing schools, Lauren, to change their schedules.
Yeah, Raphael, it could mean another major change in schedule for one of the biggest districts in our area. And our own Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with more details. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So yeah, a lot of schools taking that step back starting today amid the rise in COVID-19 cases. These schools were at full in-person or hybrid. Now they are going to complete e-learning or hybrid, just depending on the district. But we're here in Fishers this morning, one of the last school districts to kind of go back to school in person once schools started going back in the fall. And now we don't know what they're going to do, but we do know they are going to have that meeting. So the Fishers Health Department will meet tomorrow night, and in a press release, they say, quote, "We are not recommending that schools and businesses close at this time, but we do advise a review of additional mitigation measures that can be taken to keep public and shared locations as safe as possible," end quote. The health department plans to provide a comprehensive update and recommendations tomorrow, and then the next day, the Hamilton Southeastern School Board of Education, they will meet to discuss those recommendations given by the Board of Health. Now, state officials are expected to release the latest school dashboard at noon today. Last week, week, there were nearly 4,400 student cases of COVID-19 and nearly 2,000 staff and teacher cases. So again, that update is coming today at noon. We'll, of course, bring you those updates during the noon show and also online. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you so much. This morning, several other school systems are making changes to their school schedule. Greenwood Middle and high school students will begin a hybrid learning schedule today. Elementary students will not be affected and will remain in the classroom 5 days a week. Franklin Community Schools will move to a phase 2 of their hybrid schedule for the middle and high school. Hybrid learning models will also begin at the middle and high schools in Indian Creek and in Edinburgh. Also, Whiteland High School and Clark Pleasant Middle School will temporarily move to a hybrid learning schedule. And we have much more on this. Despite that information here in Johnson County, one major school system is not making a major change. Center Grove schools will continue the year completely in person. In an email to parents, district leaders say that the metrics don't support a change as only 2% of their students are currently out for COVID-related absences. The email also said the academic and mental health impacts of e-learning also weighed heavily in their decision. District leaders say they will continue to monitor cases and told parents to make a plan and be ready in case they do have to move to a hybrid learning model. New Palestine High School is also switching to virtual learning. Parents received notification of this change on Saturday. This comes after administrators received notification of 6 positive COVID-19 tests for students and staff at the school just last week. The superintendent says that contact tracing has been completed and all families involved have been notified. For now, the plan is to stay virtual at least until November the 30th. And in Bartholomew County, the schools in Bartholomew County will also move to an e-learning model. This will last through Tuesday, November the 24th, the day before Thanksgiving break. In a statement, the district says the spread of COVID-19 in the community is making it difficult to continue normal operating procedures like staffing buildings and providing bus school routes. The plan as for now is to return to in-person and remote learning options on Monday, the 30th.
At 6:38 this morning, state officials are renewing their call for retired healthcare workers to help relieve the staff in Indiana's hospitals and long-term care facilities as the number of hospitalizations and new infections across the state continues to spike at record highs. Staffing issues continue to be the greatest challenge, according to State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Box during last week's coronavirus update. Dr. Box said that healthcare workers in Indiana are swamped and they need more support now than ever before.
Perhaps the greatest strain right now is on our hospital workforce, which is in the 9th month now of responding to this pandemic and facing the greatest patient load yet. They are frankly exhausted. They're quarantined or in a family quarantine. They're juggling home issues just like the rest of us, like hybrid schooling. And some have even lost coworkers and family members to this disease. This all takes an incredible toll. Quite frankly, our frontline healthcare workers are exhausted. They need our support now more than ever, both emotionally and physically.
Both Dr. Box and Governor Eric Holcomb said Wednesday that they appreciate all that healthcare workers are doing. They also emphasized, though, we should extend our gratitude and do our part by wearing masks, practicing social distancing, and washing our hands.
The jobs crisis caused by COVID-19's pandemic, it continues. Next, how one central Indiana company is trying to connect Hoosiers with employers who are committed to their health and safety. But first, let's check on your forecast on this Monday. And Todd Clausen, it's going to be a great one, right?
It is, Raphael. Not only is it dry and sunny, but potentially talking about record high temperatures as this warmth continues to surge here into central Indiana. You need to take advantage of it, though, because off to our west, there is a cold front, and that's going to bring us back to more seasonable temperatures by the middle of the week. We'll time it all out for you and let you know about the rain that's heading our way as well coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back. It is 6:42 here, and we're taking a live look at I-65 and I-465 down on the south side where traffic's really picking up. As you can see there on your screen, everything is still traveling up to speed. We'll keep you updated on any delays this morning. It is 6:43 in Raphael this morning. A new local app creator is connecting workers and businesses during this COVID-19 crisis.
So this effort puts a priority on health, safety, and a desire to work. Beth Ann Logan is in the mix, finding extra jobs during the week. The bartender can make any drink on demand.
I've been doing it so long, I could do this in my sleep.
Beth works with the public, so out of safety concerns, she turned to the app known as SnapShift.
How critical is it for you to know that the employer that you're going to will be following all the safety protocols regarding COVID-19?
Extremely critical, because if I do get COVID-19, I won't be able to work and provide for my family. Secondly, I could get my family sick. I have parents that are elderly.
SnapShift connects people with open jobs in the hospitality industry. Key to its service is the COVID-19 Safe Program. Here's how it works. People seeking to fill an open shift must follow a checklist declaring the current status of their health before accepting a job. Employers list all the safety measures they provide and what they expect from a potential employee. If both are in compliance, there's a match, and both receive a COVID-19 Safe Badge.
Making workers feeling confident that they're going into environments that are adhering to protocols, so that, you know, it's proper PPE, it's sanitation, things of that nature, so they feel, you know, comfortable going to jobs.
We want people to continue to receive their paycheck because we want that business to remain open.
Jeremy Brown owns Nameless Catering, committed to running a safe operation. He leans on the app to bring in healthy workers with a hustle to work hard.
Prep cooks, dishwashers, line cooks, general cleanliness as far as, you know, doing some detail cleaning, things like that. Those people out there that are the hustlers that want to, you know, work more hours. I mean, right now, you know, restaurants may not have 40 hours a week. So even if you are employed at a restaurant, you might not be getting 40 hours a week. Beyond that, maybe to recover from COVID financial issues, maybe you need 60 hours a week.
Barring any health issues, Beth is looking at a busy week, finding jobs and being COVID-19 free.
This is a real thing. We see that Donald Trump has already gotten the virus, so anybody can get it. And
Beth, we wish you all the best. Later this morning, I'll have a link on how you can connect with SnapShift. You can find it in this story on our website, WRTV.com. Lauren?
Raphael, thank you. Well, parts of north central Montana, they're dealing with blizzard-like conditions today, causing power outages and multiple crashes there. You can see here in this video just how snow-covered their roads are. By noon local time Sunday, the city of Havre saw 11.5 inches of snow. Some areas are expected to see snow drifts of up to 3 feet. Now, this storm has wind gusts of up to 60 miles an hour, and visibility will be near zero at times. So it is a stark contrast to what we're dealing with here in central Indiana. Todd.
You know, it is, and that's the big thing across the country. It's so warm here off to the east and off to the west. They're dealing with the snow that you just saw and very, very cold air that's in place. But hey, we just find ourselves in the right spot, and we will take it here. This whole first 9 days of November have been very, very mild, and it's going to continue today and tomorrow as well. The record high for today is 76 degrees. That was set back in 1999, and our forecast today is 78. So I think we should easily break the record for the day today. Tomorrow, the record's 75. That too is in jeopardy. However, tomorrow there's going to be a little more in the way of cloud cover moving in. So tomorrow it's not quite as good of a chance to break the record, but hey, still 70s in November. You can't beat that. The view from IMS this morning off to the east, looking past downtown Indianapolis. You can see further off to the east, skies are clear. A little more in the way of cloud cover here in the city, but once the sun gets higher above the horizon, whatever cloud cover is out there is going to burn off fairly quickly. Yesterday we started off with some clouds to start our day, and then by the time we got to the noon hour, it was mostly sunny, and that's when we really saw the temperatures start to warm. 57 is the current temperature, just a light wind out of the southeast at 3 miles per hour here this morning. Wind not too much of a factor for the day today, and temperatures will be topping off eventually in the 70s, but starting at 57 in Bloomington right now, 58 in Lafayette. Muncie are currently at 59. Our overnight low should be in the 30s this time of year, and our highs should be in the mid-50s. Obviously today we're going to be well above that number. In fact, we're above the average high already in many locations this morning. 73 degrees by the noon hour. 5 p.m. we're down to 70. So you say, what's all this talk about temperatures that are going to be in the upper 70s and breaking a record? Well, with the time change, the sun already starting to set at 5 p.m. So our normal high temperatures now this time of year, if it's just a completely normal average day, no front coming through to cool us off in the morning or in the afternoon, that normally occurs this time of year right around 3 o'clock. And that's where we should be, up right around these numbers here. 79 in Bloomington, 78 your high temperature today in the Richmond area. Everybody gets into the warmth. A little bit of cloud cover this morning to the north. That continues to head in that direction. But here is the game changer for us. It's this cold front. You see the rain, you see the snow on the back side of it. And that is slowly going to start to make its way towards central Indiana, and it's going to arrive very late tomorrow and into Wednesday morning. So time-wise, it works out well for us that during the daytime hours tomorrow, we're still going to be dry. But look at this temperature difference. 64 in Minneapolis right now, 50 in Sioux Falls, only 23 in Bismarck. We are not getting into the 20s, but we will see our temperatures return to more seasonable averages in the 50s and for highs and 30s for lows as we get into the middle of the week. This evening, if you have plans on this Monday night, temperatures slowly fall from the 60s into the 50s overnight. You may need a light jacket, but otherwise we're in pretty good shape. Tomorrow, there's definitely more clouds around. It's not as bright of a day for us, but it's still really warm. It's a little more breezy with temperatures in the mid 70s. And as far as the rain chances go Tuesday, I kind of jumped ahead to the afternoon hours for you. So this starts at 4 p.m. There could be a spot shower that sneaks in here during the afternoon hours, but the better rain chances really ramp up after sunset tomorrow when the cold front comes through. And you can see that stray shower on TrueCast here. This is at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. It's just spotty. Definitely don't cancel any plans if you do have them. But here comes the front. It's this line. Because it's coming through after sunset, there could be some gusty winds with it, but I think we avoid the threat of severe weather. That is the good news. Going forward in this forecast, yes, I know it's cooler. Temperatures are in the 50s. We're going to be over 20 degrees cooler on Wednesday. However, those are seasonable temperatures for this time of year, so it's not like we're going drastically below normal in the coming days. After the rain tomorrow night into early Wednesday, the next chance of rain, Lauren, not until the weekend.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out the door this morning. Here's a look at our traffic now map where we do have a crash right now. This one's on the northeast side. We've been telling you about it here on 56th Street near North Arlington Avenue, so just west of the interstate. Crash with injury reported as two cars collided head-on in that area. No details on how severe any injuries are, but we know at least one person there was injured. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated. Here at 6:51, let's take a look at traffic from our INDOT traffic camera. This is at I-465 there on the interstate at East 56th Street where traffic is traveling up to speed. Same case for the interstates all over central Indiana. So great news if you are heading out the door this morning. We'll have more news and your top stories coming up just after the break. Welcome back. We are monitoring just one crash in your roads at this hour, just west of this camera here at I-465 and 56th Street. The crash is on 56th Street near Arlington Avenue. At least one person there injured after a head-on collision involving two vehicles. It is 6:54 though on your Monday. We know Todd Clausen is standing by with another gorgeous forecast. But first, Raphael, let's go through the top stories.
So, Lauren, we could soon know the results of the Drejjon Reed shooting investigation. WRTV Investigates has learned that Metro Police officers have been alerted that the grand jury reviewing Reed's shooting's death may release its findings as early as today. Reed, as you may recall, was shot and killed following a police chase that turned into a foot chase back on May the 6th. Metro Police say Reed shot at police, while the Reed family legal team says that did not happen.
Fire investigators say this large house fire on the north side over the weekend was set on purpose. The fire happened at a home on 91st Street around 4 a.m. on Saturday. The couple inside escaped the burning home after they say their dogs woke them up. No one here was hurt. Officials say the fire started on the rear deck. It was fueled by a large amount of split wood underneath.
The city of Indianapolis kicking off its leaf collection program today. Pickup will run through Friday, December the 4th. Now, if you want DPW to pick up your leaves, you're asked to put them in plastic bags. And here's another thing. Keep them at least 3 feet away from your regular trash. Leaf bags should be outside by 7 in the morning on your normal trash day. You can leave up to 40 bags of leaves for pickup per week. Todd and Lauren, that's a lot of leaves if you have 40 bags. Wow.
That is a lot of leaves. And Raphael, you got outside, cleaned the gutters over the weekend. Good idea, because it's been so nice out, Todd. Perfect weather for those cleaning up the fall leaves and anything that may be falling right now in your yard.
Yeah, you know, absolutely. And they were dry. That's key, right? When picking up leaves, you don't want wet leaves. And we're going to have some rain heading our way tomorrow afternoon and evening. So make sure you take advantage of today and tomorrow to maybe get some of those leaves up. Highs today going into the upper 70s once again, very similar to yesterday. The record high for today is 76. So we should be able to break that record once again this afternoon and potentially maybe tomorrow as well. Tomorrow the record is 75, and that's my forecast high. But it's all going to depend on the cloud cover tomorrow as a cold front approaches. There could be a stray shower tomorrow evening. The better chance of some showers and maybe even a rumble of thunder will be late Tuesday into Wednesday. But once that cold front goes through, you notice the temperature is much cooler, as well highs will be in the 50s, lows will be in the 30s for the most part. Those temperatures, while it is a lot cooler than what we've been enjoying, it's actually seasonable for the beginning to mid-November. Our normal high this time of year is 56 degrees. Overall, the week's fairly dry with just only rain in the forecast tomorrow night into early Wednesday morning.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. And the sun is coming up over central Indiana. Here's a look all over our viewing area at the sunrise on this Monday. We'll be right back throughout Good Morning America with your local news, weather, and traffic updates. All your news can be found throughout the day right on the WRTV mobile app. Thanks for watching us. Have a great day.